Voicemail. Yeah. Okay, so what's your first question?
Oh, okay. I did. I was trying 13 and 14, and I got the answer, but it just didn't look right.
Okay, that was the math review?
Right. Question 13, where you had to write the answer in scientific notation.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, what did you wind up with?
I came up with 14 million, for number 13, 14,363,125. But I don't know what happened to the decimal.
Yeah, it's supposed to be something like 1.4 times 10 to the 8.
1.4 10.
Yeah, times 10 to the 8.
1.4. Okay, I multiplied the 6.125 times the 2.345, and then I said 10 to the 7th. How did you get 8? Okay, you have to do that one for me.
Yeah, let me see if I can type something in. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to type that out. 6.125 times 10 to the 3rd times 2.345 times 10 to the 4th. Okay. Yes, so then you regroup and you multiply 6.125 times 2.345 times, and then you add the exponents because you have 7 factors of 10. So 10 to the 3 plus 4. A lot of parentheses. We don't need them all. Okay, and what do you get by multiplying 6.125 times 2.345? What number do you get?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got 14.363125.
Okay,
363,125. Did I not do it right?
Oh, no, that's correct. And then we have times 10 to the 7. Like this, right? Okay, so we can factor out one more factor of 10 from the 14 point something.
Okay, I didn't do that. So you're going to take another 10 out of that number?
Yeah, I'm moving the decimal point one more place. Hang on.
To 1.43?
Yes.
Oh. 1.43. 1.43. Okay.
Yeah,
And then
go there.
okay. Okay.
So that gives me another factor of 10.
Okay. So then was I going to take that just the 1.43 and multiply that times the 10?
Oops, yeah, I just put it in red. I didn't mean to put that in red. But yeah, so there's another factor of 10,
6,
and that's going to be added to the 10 to the 7.
5. Oh boy. 1.43, 61, 2. Something is not right. 1.43, 63, 125. Okay. 1.4363, 125. So I didn't finish.
Yeah, you were just one step shy.
Oh.
But I would have accepted it with the 14 point something times 10 to the 7.
But it didn't look right, so
Yeah, because technically scientific notation has just one digit in front of the decimal point.
okay. And then pretty much the second one is pretty much the same, except for, what is it? Is it the same?
Yeah. No, there is a negative exponent
Oh, I
on
can't
the second
see it.
10.
Okay, it must be my eyes. Okay, I see it now. Oh.
Yeah, I'm just going to write it out.
So the decimal, okay, so I had 3 zeros. I have 0.0002345. Then I have equal 1.43. But did I not finish that one out either?
Yeah, let's see.
Is that finished?
I think it's just something, it winds up to be 1.4 times 10 to the 0. Let's see if we can get that. Oops. Okay, so let me just write this. We're multiplying 125 times 2.345. That's going to be 14 point. I'm just going to round it. 14.36. Okay, and then times 10 to the 3 minus 4. Okay, so if we subtract that, what's the exponent going to be?
You got 14.36 times 10. Okay, I'm trying to understand. So you're talking 10 minus 1?
Exactly. Yeah, negative 1.
Okay.
And 10 to the negative 1 would be 0.1.
Okay.
So that's like multiplying the 14.36 by 0.1.
Wow.
Or dividing it by 10, either way. And that brings it down to 1.436.
You're down at the end of the board. You don't really, you see half of that number, but that's okay.
Oh. My board seems to be a little bit larger.
Oh, okay. Now, you can tell as, just see the bottom. You don't see the bottom of the numbers.
Yeah, it's just 1.436.
14.36 times 0.1.
Mm-hmm.
And then do we have to multiply that out?
Well, if you multiply it out, you get the 1.436.
Okay.
Because yeah.
I'm trying to try it.
Professor LaHaye.
Yes.
That.
I have a question about which lab is due next. Is it the sun lab or the light spectrum?
I think I put up the light and spectra. That's supposed to come next.
Okay.
Does it say somewhere that the sun lab comes next?
Well, if you look at the order that it was in, the second one that's posted up is the pre-lab for the sun. So I've been trying to work on that, but I was having a hard time with figuring out the layout. But I need to work on the light spectrum because that's the next one that's due.
Yeah, I think, let me just quickly check the schedule. I think I have the light and spectra. It doesn't really matter, actually, which one you do next, but, let me go ahead and check that real quick. Hang on just a second.
Okay.
Okay, in the calendar, I have the light and spectra. Yeah, let me go to the learning modules.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button on my phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the light and spectra is the second lab.
Okay. Well, I need to work on that one next then. But I was having a hard time with the sun. I was looking at the lab, and we're supposed to be able to tell, like, some coordinates or something, and I couldn't see it with pulling up the diagram.
Yeah. See, I could. Which question were you working on in particular?
It was actually the first one. When you look at the box, the layers of the sun, and it has a display, and we're supposed to look at A1 GIF.
Yeah.
But it was saying something about some coordinates, and I couldn't see any coordinates on that, on the diagram when I pulled it up.
Well, in the end, for the worksheet, here it is. For the worksheet, the coordinates that you use are like a clock face. So it's not really a grid that you would see, but you would just imagine, like when you look at the sun, that the 12 o'clock would be up on top, and then, 3 o'clock would be halfway down on the right, 6 o'clock would be all the way down, and 9 o'clock would be halfway up on the left. And then, of course, with the other numbers in between. So then you would guess, well, not guess, but sort of estimate a clock position for the feature. If you imagine like an arrow from the center, pointing out to the rim in the direction of that feature, what clock, what time that would be. So that would be your angle coordinate, and then you estimate how far away it is from between the center and the edge, just like on a straight line. And you give that as a fraction of the radius. Do you have the worksheet in front of you right now?
Yes.
Okay, page 1511. and they have a large X there and a small cross.
Okay.
As an example. Do you see those?
Yes.
Okay. So if you go across, if we're looking at the large cross, what time or what clock time would that be?
9 o'clock.
Yeah, so that would be at 9 o'clock. And then if you imagine connecting the center dot with the 9 at the edge, that's a certain length, and then you estimate, well, what fraction of the length is that X away from the center?
Okay.
So, it would be closer to the center, so it would definitely be less than 0.5. If it were all the way on the edge, all the way at the 9, then you would say 1. If it were halfway between the 9 and the dot in the middle, you'd say 0.5, and it seems to be even closer than that.
Like 0.2. It looked
they've written 0.2, but if you would say something like 0.25 or 0.3, I would accept that too, since it's an estimate.
Okay.
But it should be less than 0.5.
Okay.
Yeah. And then for the cross, what clock coordinate do you have there?
It's at 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. And then what fraction of the radius would it be?
About 0.7.
Yeah, 0.7. And again, if you wrote something like 0.6 or 0.8, I would accept that too, because it's further away than halfway, the 0.5 mark. So anything like that would be fine with me.
Okay.
Yeah, and the 4 different pictures, A1, A2, A3, and A4, they're going to show the 4 different layers of the sun, like the atmosphere. So each layer has distinctive features. I don't know if you have gotten that far yet and looked at the photosphere and the upper and lower chromosphere and the corona.
Yeah, I looked at A1. Wasn't really sure what I was looking at, but I did look at it.
Let's see, right off the bat, I'm not sure which layer that is, but well, if you go to the image layer.gif,
Layer.
I think, layer.gif.
I see layer 1.gif.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I didn't see the one there. Yeah, layer 1.gif.
Okay.
And they have, let's see, they have labeled, if you go to page 15.6, oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, this image is sort of like a composite of all 4 atmospheric layers, and the one on the upper left, that's the calcium line. That would be, I just had it. Yeah, that would be the lower chromosphere. So the one on the upper left would be the lower chromosphere. The one on the upper right is the upper chromosphere. The one on the lower left is the corona, and the one on the lower right is the photosphere. And each of these layers, they have certain features. I don't know if you have looked at the list of the features yet.
Yeah, I looked at the different features just wasn't really sure about how they look when I'm looking at the pictures. Now, I did read 16, and the lower left looks like something I seen in the book on the corona.
Mhm. Yeah, so the features that you would see on the corona would be those coronal loops, right?
Okay.
I mean, it sort of looks like, that some curvy lines start at one place, like a whole bunch of them, and then sort of loop around and end in another place.
Yeah.
Yeah, those would be the coronal loops,
Okay.
and they sort of show the magnetic field lines, and then the coronal holes would be the dark regions in the corona with very little hot gas.
Oh, okay.
So wherever it's dark, those would be the coronal holes, and then wherever you see the curvy lines, those would be the loops.
Okay.
Yeah, and then let's see, on the photosphere, which is basically what we look at, that's the visible light. So when we see an image of the sun projected on a screen in the visible light, then that's usually what we see, the photosphere. And you just see tiny sunspots, and that the edge of the sun seems to be a little bit darker than the center region.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you can see the granulation, which is like a light and dark modeling of the photosphere, but it would be just a very, very fine texture. So the sunspots would definitely.
I'm sorry.
Say again?
I was asking, is that toward like the edge of the sun where you see those like little light lines around? And it's for the lower right.
Let's see. Let me see if I can take a look at the image. I was trying to do it from memory. Okay, hang on. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at layer 1. Yeah, it sort of looks like there would be light-colored lines, but I think they're just artificial, maybe because of the resolution of the image.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, if you go in that direction, out that way, then you see that the edge is a little bit darker, and if you go back towards the center, then it's a little bit brighter. And I think it's kind of hard to see the granulation in the photosphere because the resolution is so low.
Okay.
See, the granulation would be like a coarse-grained texture that is all over the entire photosphere, so surrounding the sunspots and all over. You can see the granulation if you go to the upper left image, which was the lower chromosphere. I think you can see the mottled appearance, like sort of light and dark mixed up. Yeah, so you can see the granulation there. So that would be the granulation.
Okay.
And those, if we stay with the upper left picture, those white patches are the plages. So they're spelled Plage. Would be one plage, and then I guess I don't actually know how to pronounce it correctly. And then the plural would be plages.
Okay.
Yeah, so as far as the lower chromosphere is concerned, that just has the granulation and those plages.
Okay.
And if you compare the location of the plages in the lower chromosphere, with the bottom right image of the photosphere, you can actually see that those plages are correlated with the sunspots that you see in the photosphere.
Yeah. Okay.
And then in the upper chromosphere, if you go to the image on the right, you don't see the granulation as much anymore, but you still see the plages. And unfortunately, there's another type of feature that you usually see, but it's not very visible on that particular image of the upper chromosphere, and that's what's called filaments. Those are thin, dark streaks that sort of are here and there, and you'll see that when you get to the other images where you're supposed to identify the features.
Okay.
Then you'll see on the upper chromosphere, not just the plages, but also like dark streaks, and those would be the filaments.
Okay.
So those are pretty much all the features.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Oops, where did my Wimba window go? Here. Okay. Do you have any other questions?
Not right now. I need to read over the lab for chapter 2. Lab number 2. I was doing lab number 3 first. So now I need to read.
Well, you could turn in lab number 3 first, and then number 2. Like I said, the dates, the due dates on the calendar are just guidelines. So you can turn it in or any order. You just want to make sure that by the time the lab midterm exam becomes available, that you have the first 4 assessment labs in.
Okay.
So I'm going to clear the slide. Okay.
And I'm going to work on some of those again before I, ask for help.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we can either meet on campus or set up a Wimba session like this, or you can email me the questions. Any of those will work.
Okay. But I'll just plan to meet you on Monday, though, at 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put that down.
Okay. Because, I'll start doing it, and then sometimes it just don't look right, or I don't even see the little minus sign, so I just need to go back through these and make sure that I'm picking up the right characters.
Yeah, with math, it's really in the details.
Yeah, because, if you forget one little thing, you're lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get a totally different result.
Right.
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
Okay. So are we done?
I don't know. It depends. Do you have any more questions?
Well, I don't.
Okay, well, since we were just talking about the sun, maybe I could try to make a slide real quick.
Okay.
You'll just have to remember how to do it, because I have to upload some sort of picture into the e-board and then annotate it.
Yeah, well, I heard this thing about the solar, the thing that was in the news today, how close it was.
Oh, the space station that passed in front of the sun?
Right. That was kind of neat.
Oh, yeah. Did you? I actually didn't get a chance to see it, but did you get to see it?
No, I didn't get to see. I just saw it on the web. I didn't see it in person.
Yeah, I should maybe post a link to that. Everything just came up so quick, but there was an astronomer on Decatur campus in the parking lot who is like a special solar astronomer.
Oh, really?
And he supposedly taped the whole thing, through his telescope from the Decatur campus parking lot. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of the astronomy instructors on Decatur campus arranged that.
That would be really neat. I would love to go over there and see it.
Well, he just came out for that one day.
Okay.
Professor LaHaye.
Yes.
What chapter do we read for the light and spectra?
In the lab manual or the lecture textbook?
The lecture book.
I think it's chapter 3.
Okay.
That's the one about light and spectra. That explains the properties of light and how you break it down into its components. And I think that in chapter 4 would be telescopes, but we'll skip that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm still trying to grab a picture of the layer 1.gif. It's just so large. Okay. Oh, import. Let's see if I can use this import function. And
Are we supposed to see something on the board?
not yet, but I'm getting ready to load that layer 1.gif. image. Just have to find it wherever I saved it. Okay, do you see something?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, yeah, this is layer1.gif. I'm trying to give it a title. Oh, it's still in red. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so then the picture on top left was the lower chromosphere. Maybe I'll keep it in red. Okay, top right was the upper chromosphere. Bottom left was the corona. And bottom right was the photosphere. Okay, and then we were talking about features. Maybe I can change colors. Okay, so these guys in there would be the sunspots. Those little dark spots in there. Yeah, and if you go over to the edge, if you look around the center, then it is lighter. And if you go over to the edge, then it seems like the sun is darkening. The color is getting darker a little bit, and that's what's called limb darkening. Hmm. Yeah, the granulation is really hard to see on the photosphere because it's so smooth. Um, yeah, okay, and we talked about the corona on the bottom left, about the light, curvy features, and those were the coronal loops. Okay, so that would be a coronal loop or serval. And the dark spots with not much going on would be the coronal holes. Okay, and then on the lower chromosphere, on the upper left, we had talked about the whitish features, which were the plages. Yeah, that green doesn't show up very well. Yeah, and the modeled feature, or the modeled background, was the granulation. I'm thinking about how I should. Yeah, I can't really mark the entire face. Yeah, maybe I'll just write it out. Let's try blue. Ah. I didn't mean to put that bracket in there. When I type it, it's all gray. It's just as gray as the background there, so I don't actually know what I'm typing until I hit enter.
Yeah, it looks good. You're actually typing that on top of that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
with that typing feature.
Oh, okay.
You see that letter T? When I click on that, then I can type.
Oh, okay.
But it's not like a word processor, so I don't think I can go back and change it.
Oh, okay. It looks great.
Well, maybe I can erase it.
Oh, you erased it. Oh.
Please come back. Oh, no. Oh, no.
They don't have
This is
that.
after the second lab, right? Light and spectra, and after that comes this one, the sun.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There are a couple more people here. Let's see. Yes, Alexandra. We were jumping ahead because someone had started working on the sun lab instead of the light and spectra lab. But yes, technically, it's the light and spectra lab is the one that's coming next. So we have lab review, light and spectra, and then the sun. And the fourth one before the lab midterm would be the parallax.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mhm. Do you have any other questions?
Yes, on the on the light and spectra, I saw that there is the pre-lab and the lab. I understand those two you have to do, but there are some like example questions. It's like a sheet. Do we have to turn those into?
Oh, yeah, let me jump to the module real quick to see what you're talking about. Those might be the practice questions.
Yeah, I think those are those we don't have to turn in.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. The lab practice, light and spectra, and the conceptual practice, Doppler shift. You can actually do those for extra credit being added to the lab. So you can work them out, and then you can get up to, well, let's see, it's out of 50 points. Yeah, so you could get up to 5 extra points added to the lab. But yeah, the extra credits, so in that sense, they would be optional.
Okay, and they shouldn't be that hard, right? Because they're supposed to be the same as what we're seeing on this lab.
Yeah, they're very similar. I took it from a different book, so they're not exactly the same as the lab questions. You can probably wait with them, if you're pretty comfortable doing the lab, you could probably wait with those until after the lab.
Oh, I can
But
turn them in after I get my grade?
Yeah, that would work too. So you wouldn't have to turn those in before or at the same time. Since they're more for extra credit, you could turn them in whenever.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Mardina. I just had to mute it for a second because we have a new dog that isn't used to the cats yet, and I needed some backup here to get the cat out of the way.
So are you going to leave this, is this going to be in the archive too?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to put that in the archive, and I'm also going to try to complete the slide so I can post it separately.
Okay.
So I'm just going to have to go back and redo it.
Okay, great.
I hear someone whistling.
No, really. Well, if we're done, I'm going to take this hot computer off my lap.
Okay.
And
well, if anybody still has any questions, feel free to ask.
Well, I'll just say good night then. And
all right.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, you're very welcome.
Okay. Thank
See
you.
you Monday. Have a good
Bye-bye.
weekend.
Thank you
You
for
too.
your
bye.
help. I'm leaving
Okay,
too.
you're very welcome. Just keep asking. Oh, now I found the right button. Oh, okay. Lanita, you're asking a question. Okay, are we supposed to have a lecture book also? Yes. The lecture book is Astronomy Today, Volume 2, Stars and Galaxies by Jason and Macmillan, 7th edition, and I think Pearson is the publisher.